I'll wait for some people to come in before I start doing it. Usually doesn't take this long, but I'm using the Stream Labs app. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem like I get as many views when I use the Streamlab app versus using the native YouTube app. That's neither here nor there. There might not be that many people on because it's kind of late anyway. But I'll go and get into it. So what I'm showing you is my PVS 18 digital. Let's grab it here. And I upgraded this thing here. And I'm gonna go over the upgrades that I've made to it. So, as you can see here, I have the custom reflector that I did. I also use the tinted glass, red to kind of help it. See here, I think I've talked about these before, but the lights that I use are just from this flashlight kit here that I purchased. It came with, I think, like 100 of these little flashlights. They were perfect to use. Make sure that don't fall down. Alrighty. Yeah, after the upgrades, this thing didn't actually do too poorly. I know everybody hates PVS 18 digital, but they can be modified so that they function properly. Now, I'm not endorsing them or telling you to buy them or anything like that. There's still more things that you can buy that's better. But if you're stuck with one of these, you can at least make it work. So I'm gonna go over the upgrades that I did to it. The first thing that I did, like I said, I did the reflector on here. I also took the lens out and polished it. And then I also painted the edges of the lenses to cut down on some of the flare of the light coming in it. So when you're dealing with digital cameras, and this is essentially what this is, the best mods you can do are the same ones you would do for a digital camera to make it perform better in the dark. And so that's exactly what I did. I went through and made sure that all the lenses, the edges on it were black, and made sure that the lenses was clean as possible. Now I'll do another video another day when I disassemble the lens to show you how to do that, which really isn't that hard. This thing has a lens assembly on it, and it actually has three lenses. Well, actually, probably two lenses and then an IR pass window or something like that, but it's pretty simple. The other modification I did was I used green window tint for the eyepiece so that it would cut down on how bright it is, because that's the other issue with it. It's real bright when you look at it. Let's see if I can get it here. As you can see. Now, one thing that you're supposed to do is, like when you're looking at this little screen here, it's not supposed to be that far on your face. It's supposed to be closer. So when you're looking through your little eyepiece, it's almost should be like it's floating, and it should be somewhere like about right here. So when you're looking at it, you don't really notice that it's, what's the word I want to look for? It doesn't really look like it's really far out like that. You're looking through it. You really want it somewhere around like this or a little closer to you. But yeah, you can actually, for once, you can actually see through it. So normally whenever you see people doing videos displaying this, the main reason why they can't see anything is because number one, it's in the daytime, and this thing really needs to be in the dark. One good thing I do like about this is a one-to-one. It is not zoomed in like a 4x or 3x magnification. So I do like that. And of course, that's the rig I have for the helmet, and it's on the Wilcox mount. I do have a Notorious, I mean, Nortis, I believe that's how they pronounce it, mount, which is this one, a Rhino. But I don't like this one. I like the Wilcox. This is a bad clone, by the way. The I have another one that's a better one. But yeah, I've been able to see outside at night with this, and after the upgrades, it works as it's supposed to. That's really all I can tell you about it. Let me see here. Let me go outside. side a little bit. Have to take the dog out anyway, so let's go out here and see if I can show some footage at night. As soon as I open the door, pups are gonna come running. Here's my pup. Come on, pup. Good boy. So, I'm gonna have to focus this first so we actually can see something here. That's just my light that I have out here. Let me put this down while I focus it real quick. Hold on, puppy. All right, I had to set all that stuff down. Okay, so it's gonna take a couple of minutes for that, for the light to stop. There we go. So let's see here. Hold on. I need a mount. Okay, but now you can clearly see that you can see the objects around. So that fence is probably about 50 feet away, more or less. That flashing is just the fact because it's a digital camera. You don't see that with the naked eye, but that's what that looks like. Let's see, can I show you a picture of the night sky? Put the focus on any stars. I don't want this thing to do that. Yeah, focus on some stars. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we get. Come on, puppy pup. We're gonna go back inside. Come on, pup. Pup. Come on. Good boy. All right. Out. Should be good for the rest of the night. Okay. All right. Light on in here. Well, this light's dead. Gotta recharge it. Anyway, I'll cut it off. The upgrade for the IR made all the difference. Excuse me. Without that, you can't see anything more than you can see more than about 5 feet away. But realistically, you can see about a baseball field and a half with it the way it is now, which is pretty decent for this device. And another thing I got a battery charger and I'm using rechargeable batteries because I got tired of just keep buying batteries all the time. But yeah, for the most part, it works as it was intended now. Let me, I'll just leave it like this. I won't try to put this back on. So yeah, these devices can be made to work. Like I said, I wouldn't purchase it, but if you already got one, you can do the upgrades to it to make it work so that you can at least walk around with it at night and see. Like I said, looking at about a baseball diamond and a half is maybe not the best, but that's a decent range enough for you to be able to walk around in the dark and you can pretty much see whatever you need to see with it. So you can make it work. I want to do some more mods to it to see how better I can get the performance. I am a little bit limited with the device because I can't with this one I can't set the shutter rate. I can't change any of that stuff from the default. And the microcontroller in here is the ESP32. But I'm not sure if it's running Arduino Uno software or is it like a custom? I'm not sure. It has some type of software on it because you don't get the jittery like we do at night vision. It's not being like all that when you move it. So that's because there's some type of software on it that's doing that. And the ESP32s, they're like an open source board. If you ever played around with Arduino Uno boards, the Nano or either the, what's the other one? It's not a Raspberry Pi, is it? Yeah, might be a Raspberry Pi. They're the micro board. Both of those boards, there's two versions of them. They're a microcontroller, and a lot of people use them for like digital TVs or making alarms or monitors and stuff like that. You can load different software. So that's probably what kind of software they're using, some kind of modified, because whenever you turn the feature on here, like I'll show you, whenever you change the colors, like it has, what is this? Green, IR color, and red. That's just the board in here. That's the microcontroller and the software that they're running on it. So I'm not exactly sure how far out I can actually get this thing to where you can look, but so far I've been pleased with it after I did the mods to it. Like I said, without the mods, I couldn't see more than about 5 feet in front of me. So this is something that you could potentially, if you wanted to go and practice in the woods and shoot or something at night, you could if you didn't have any night vision. So in a pinch it would work. But like I said, there's better options. And the only reason why I bought this because I want to play around with it to see if I could mod it and make it work better. So that's what I did when I purchased it. I didn't spend the 300. It didn't cost me $300 or $400 or $500 with other people. For all of them, they said they paid whatever that price was. I didn't pay that much for it. I believe I might have paid maybe 200 at the most. It came with a lot of extra stuff. Now the actual mount that it came with, the actual Wilcox mount, is actually pretty decent. Cause let's see here, that's in this bag. This mount doesn't have any wobble in it, and it doesn't have any trouble accepting different dovetail mounts because like I'll show you an example. So this one is a Wilcox, but it's a bad copy of one. So you can see this mount here. I mean this dovetail here, it doesn't, let's see, can I put it on here? Let's give you an example. Doesn't snap into place and that's wobbly. I've just never swapped the new one out that I have. Let's see here. Open up the bag. I'm doing it with one hand. So I have this Wilcox mount, and this one doesn't have any wobble in it. I'm talking, but you can't even see it. All right, but if I use the same dovetail, it fits in here fine, right? And it even locks in place. Let's see, come on, don't be difficult. Yes. the way it's intended to work. But this is a better copy Wilcox than this one because, like I said, if you look at it, there's no wobble on this one. And of course, this one here has a wobble. All of your clone Wilcox, obviously, like I just showed you, don't have wobble. This is just a real cheap one. But it's better than the plastic one. So if you do get the clone Wilcox, don't get the plastic ones. And I would not use the clone Wilcox on any decent night vision either. It's fine for this like $200, but if you spend $5,000 or $10,000 on night vision, you don't want to cheap out on the mount. But here's another point that you need to pay attention whenever you're dealing with these clone Wilcox. So when you buy a real one, they include Allen wrenches to make sure you periodically check these little screws that are in here and make sure you keep them tight. And right here is a point you want to pay attention. You want to make sure you put oil on here so you don't have this little piece wearing out, because a lot of times they get where they don't lock and go up and down. They need oil, so we oil them and keep them lubricated. You don't have as much trouble with them. Okay, that sound. I guess that's my daughter opening the fridge. I was wondering what that noise was. No, it wasn't my dog. I'm gonna put this back on here. Let's see here. All right. So I put it back on the helmet. So at least this one can be made to function well. You can roll back the footage and see when I had it outside. So you can see that you can at least walk around outside in the dark with it and be able to see. But like I said, I wouldn't buy this one as my first choice. If you want to play around with them, then that's fine. They still bother your eye. These single monoculars, they mess around with your depth perception. So I still like having the dual tubes, not a single monocular, because sometimes it messes with your depth perception. But playing around with it, like if you're just going around with it at night, sometimes the single one can be okay as well. It just depends on your eyes. So my eyes are bad. And I'll probably, when I get on tomorrow, I'll probably show you how to disassemble this, and I'll show in more detail the mods that I did on it. But just this mod here alone, that made all the difference. One thing about this unit, there's no way you can cut off the IR illuminator, but you wouldn't want to do that anyway because without the IR illuminator, you're not going to really see anything. And since I shoot with my shotgun here, you see it's set up for nighttime anyway. Excuse me. The EOTech has night vision mode on it. The PEC 15 has the IR illuminator, and so does the flashlight. So I'm gonna use that stuff anyway. Excuse me. So I'm not really concerned that much about somebody seeing my IR light. Excuse me. I got some pollen or whatever. I got allergies. And my eyes are watering. But that's gonna be pretty much it for that. So my pistol that I use, it has an IR illuminator on it as well, and it also has an IR laser. So almost all my stuff I have has some kind of night vision function on it, and all that helps with using these digital devices. But since my allergies are bothering me, I need to take some medicine. If you got, I see I got one person on. If you got any questions, you can ask. If not, I'll get on off. And thanks for watching my stream. So I appreciate you taking the time to look at it, and I'll see you later.